What is up, guys? It's the Pi Guy. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be checking out two-step equations, so let's get started. Okay, first, let's get a review of equations from solving one-step equations. Okay, an equation is a mathematical sentence that says that the first half of an equation is equal to the second half of an equation. It's also important to remember that both sides of the equation don't have to look like each other for them to be actually equal to each other. Okay, so solving two-step equations is very similar to solving our one-step equations. We still need to remember that equations are like balancing a scale. We can do whatever we want to one side as long as we do the exact same thing to the other side. That way our scale is always balanced. Okay, these are the same rules for solving one-step equations. However, with our two-step equations, we need to have an order to do our steps in because we're going to have more than one step to do and we got to know what to do first. So let's take a look at that. In solving two-step equations, there will always be a combination of addition and subtraction with multiplication and division. And when we're choosing where to start, we always need to start with the operation that is furthest away from our variable. Then we'll work from the outside in until we're left with only our variable. So let's try some of these two-step equations. Okay, so in this equation, we're going to have to do two steps to get our variable by itself. Okay, so here we have addition and we have multiplication. And we need to start with the operation that's furthest away from our variable. Now it's multiplication over here. These two are like kissing over here, and then they're all just kind of sitting on a bench. So we're going to start with the 5 that's sitting on the other end of the bench. Okay, so we're going to get rid of this addition. We're going to subtract 5 from both sides. Making sure we're doing the same thing to both sides of the equation, balancing on our scale. So positive 5 minus 5, that gives us 0. And then 26 minus 5, that's going to leave us as 21. On the left side, we're left with 3x. Okay, so we have 3x equals 21. We need to do division to get rid of the multiplication. So let's divide by 3 on both sides. We're left with x over here equals 7. Okay, so we have our 7. We're going to plug this 7 back in for x to check our work. Let's do that up here. So 3 times 7 plus 5 equals 26. Okay, so using our PEMDAS rules, we're going to start with multiplication over here. So 3 times 7, that's 21. Bring down this 5 equals 26. Next is addition. So we're going to do 21 plus 5 is 26 equals 26. And that checks out, so we know we did it right. Okay, so in this equation, we have division and subtraction. So to get the variable by itself, we need to do the operation that's furthest away from the variable. So we're going to start with this minus 7 over here. Okay, so we're going to add 7 to both sides. Okay, negative 7 and positive 7, those cancel each other out. Negative 2 and positive 7, that's going to leave us with a positive 5 on the right side. We have x divided by 2 equals 5. To get rid of this division, we're going to do multiplication to both sides. So we're going to multiply both sides by 2. On the left side, we're left with just x. On the right side, 5 times 2 is 10. Okay, so we have x equals 10. Let's clear this slide and check our work. So our x was 10. We have 10 divided by 2 minus 7 equals negative 2. Okay, so using our PEMDAS rules, we're going to do division first. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Bring down this negative 7 equals negative 2. 5 minus 7 equals negative 2. And these match, so we know we did it right. Okay, so for our final example here, we have two equations here. They're the same, but I'm going to do them in two different ways. Over here on this side, I'm going to do the exact same thing that I've been doing for the other two examples. But over here, I'm going to show you a separate way to do it. It involves one more step, but it just shows you that this is a different way to do things. It's always nice to have a variety of options to do things. So over here, we have a multiplication and we have subtraction over here. So since subtraction is further away from this variable, we're going to start by getting rid of subtraction by adding 12 to both sides of the equation. Negative 12 and positive 12 cancel each other out, leaving us with 0. 60 plus 12 is 72. Okay, so over here on the left side, we're left with 6x equals 72. We need to get rid of the 6, so we just have x on one side and a number on the other. So to get rid of the 6, we're going to divide by 6 on both sides. These 6's cancel, leaving us with x. 72 divided by 6 is 12. Okay, now for this one over here, I'm just going to do this one first, and we're going to check to see if these two match. Okay, so I'm going to factor this 6 over here, factoring it. So by doing that, I get 6 times x minus 2 equals 60. And factoring is kind of the opposite of distributing. So if I distributed this 6 back into the parentheses, I would get 6x minus 12. Okay, let me erase that real quick.
One eternity later.
So since we have 6 times x minus 2 equals 60, I'm going to get rid of the 6 by dividing by 6 on both sides. This cancels. And over here, 60 divided by 6 is 10. So over here I'm left with x minus 2 equals the 60 divided by 6, which is 10. Okay, now we're just left with a one-step problem. We just have subtraction over here. To get rid of the subtraction, we're going to add 2 to both sides to get x. Okay, so adding 2 here cancels. Adding 2 over here, we get 12. And now that we know that these two match. So it's more likely that we did it right, but we're going to go ahead and plug our x back into the original equation just to make sure. Can never be too sure. Okay, so our x was 12. So we have 6 times 12 minus 12 equals 60. Okay, using our PEMDAS, we have 6 times 12 is 72, minus 12 equals 60. Then 72 minus 12 is 60. 60 equals 60. These checkouts. Okay guys, that's it for this video. If you liked or thought it was helpful, be sure to smash that like button, comment down below what you guys would like to see in my video. Subscribe to my channel to get notified whenever I put out a new video. And if you didn't quite get something or thought a part was confusing, definitely screenshot and send it to me via email, Twitter, Instagram, all of which are linked down in the description, and I'll be sure to help you with it. That's all for today. I'll see you guys next time.